Okay, tribe. So we are live. I do have the comments, so I cannot see them. For my aesthetics by P Brown tribe, I am actually in class, y'all. So my students are learning about business today. We have Miss Clarissa, and I'm going to let her introduce her company. But she has been blessed because what I was explaining to the students is I work with a plethora of businesses in the Nashville community. And one of the things I've learned in our mentor and development program is a lot of them don't understand what project management is. Like the gravity of what good organization will do for your business. You know what I mean? And that's important because you have a lot of people who are visionaries. You have a lot of people who know where they want to go and they have the skill to get there. They just don't know how to start. You know what I mean? And so having a good project manager to go, okay, I see your vision. I see where you want to go. Let me build that. So with that being said, tell us about your company and tell us why project management is important in what you do, Queen.
Okay, great. It's nice to be with everybody. I can't see your faces, but I know you're out there. And of course, thank you so much. That was a great introduction. It segues nicely into my company, Marade, which is Swahili for plan. And the essence of project management is plan. If you know where you want to be, we will help you define how to get there. In its essence, and if you boil it down to four things that project management brings to the table, it is organization, it is focus,
We're looking for those four things.
focus, organization, facilitating, and communicating. Those are the essence of business. If you have a focus, say, for example, you want to go to Denver, that's your goal. So, how do you organize getting to Denver? That's where the project manager steps in and say, okay, do you have a preference? Plane, train, car? Are you bold enough to hike? We will develop that plan that breaks it down into steps. You know, either all four of those options, we can do the research and we say, okay, here's your options. Which one do you want to go? If you want to go by air, this is the most cost-effective way for you to get there. Cost effectiveness is essential to making a
Question.
Yes, ma'am. You have a question.
Look, I got a question. You said a lot, sis. Hold on. I want to put this in perspective for the tribe.
Okay.
For my baby who has a planner getting ready to come out, I won't say her name because I know she's on the live because she's like, I'm on there. What I'm hearing you say, because I love the Denver analogy, and for those of you who don't get it, like planning your planning your business, your launch, your product launch is very much like planning a trip. So if they're coming to you as a project manager, if they're like, I'm going to do this self-love planner, your job is to go, okay, let's talk about how to get there and how to get there cost effectively. Did y'all hear the cost effectively part?
Yes.
Because so many people are like, I can get you there, but it's going to be 30 grand.
Okay.
So I wanted to highlight.
Absolutely. Because in cost effectiveness, you don't go with the first thing you see at the grocery store. You always look on the shelf, see where the sales are. That's being cost effective, being cost smart, because you only make money when you spend less than what you're charging, right? You have
That's
to
called profits.
called profits, and business is about making money. So project management helps you identify those areas. You want to. We can start with the RFP, a request for quote proposal from providers. So we reach out to Delta, Southwest, United, Lufthansa, and we check their prices. After we look at their price, we look at when can I get there because I want to arrive by this date. You know, what day is the most cost effective day for me to fly out? It is not over the weekend. It is like Tuesday night, Wednesday. And if you're real good, you may be able to find a deal on Thursday. Most people, when they go looking for a flight, they
Mm-hmm.
look for Friday, they look for Sunday. You spending money. You don't have to. Plan on a few extra days. Enjoy yourself. Because with the cost saving you make saving on that flight, you can pay for a couple of nights extra in a hotel. So
And you
in
know,
going,
I have that conversation with new students too, though. Because all
mhm,
jokes aside, like when you say it like that, you know, we just launched a school. And a
yeah,
lot of it is, and the school's cost is 15,000. And I've
mhm,
had a couple students that are like, well, if I go up the street, I'm only paying 12. It's true, but will you be an ethnic skincare specialist at the end? Will you have the tools to start your business? Because you're saving
mhm,
$3,000 on the front end, but you're going to spend 6 or more on the back end when you could
exactly,
leave with all your equipment. Like, I love
exactly.
the fact that you're like, don't jump at the first.
No, no. The cheap you
I
when
love
you go
that.
for this, you're gonna get cheap. When you go to most expensive, you're gonna get debt.
Hmm.
So you want to evaluate what you're willing to invest and understand what your return is, right? That's where you're gonna make your money by doing all this planning up front. You want to go to Denver. You have
Hmm.
your transportation choices. Um, how much are you willing to invest to get there? Now, remember, your whole goal is to make money. When you lay out a plan, a holistic plan, you can't say, I'm going to get up and go to Denver tomorrow. You really have to start thinking today, I want to go to Denver by the end of July. When you're doing your business plan, you're not going to walk up tomorrow and get a business license and boom, be in business on Monday. You have to lay it out. And if money is a constraint, by laying out everything that needs to happen to get your business started, you are able to control your cost throughout the process because you got to look at the big picture. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You heard your mama say it 12 million times. You cannot sink all your money up front
Hmm.
because you will not have positioned
Hmm.
yourself to make a profit. You have to understand what your costs are.
Hmm.
You know, Portia didn't wake up this morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to charge $1,500." She gathered all the costs involved in providing this service to people. Based on that, she was able to build in her profit margin and all the operating costs. And I guarantee you, she checking her books. Project management, you
Hmm.
check your books all the time, at minimum once a week. Where's my money going? How much am I spending?
So,
You,
would you do that, or would you train the person to do that?
I can do that. If you give me a budget, I can make sure you stay within your budget. I can also train you how to gather those costs and create a budget and spread it out across your project plan so that when you finish school and you have a plan that is incremental steps to getting to where you want to open up your own shop, it can happen. Again,
Hmm.
it's the focused organization. You got to focus. You got to stay focused on, you can't lose sight of Denver. You cannot lose sight of Denver. You check in, self check in, or if you hire a
I'm gonna
project
put that on a
manager,
T-shirt.
you review where you are. You do week status reports for yourself, for your company. You got to keep checking in. It's not going to happen because you got this plan and everything is hunky dory. No, 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 no. Trust me. People who own stock checking in their stock
Hmm.
every. They're doing the research to see
Truth.
what the wave is. It's the same way when you come to manage your business. You have to have that organized focused. You have got to facilitate. You know, you can hire a project manager. And myself, I would do it specific to a project. If you want to know how to learn how to do it just for yourself, I can train you on that as well. If you want to become a project manager, there's a whole different path. But what you want to use these skills for, oh, the other key asset of using a project manager,
So
understanding,
just now, what you froze when it said yourself. What was that last piece?
you have to, I think that I was talking about how you really have to monitor your plan yourself.
Hmm.
You have to stay on top of it.
Okay.
It's not going to happen by itself. Uh, you have to facilitate because you're not going to get to Denver by yourself. You're not going to start a business by yourself. You got to build a clientele. So, do you take
Hmm.
this when you get to the point in your classwork when you're starting to train with actual people? What are you doing to encourage them to become your customer? You start building your base that early because you're not going to walk out of school and say, "Oh, I have the certificate. Y'all come see me." They don't know you. They need a reference.
They all laugh.
True.
That is true though, because I think you know why I love that you said that though. The internet got people thinking like, "Girl, $1 for this business license, and you're gonna be a millionaire tomorrow." But if it was that easy, honey,
Mm-mm. No.
honey.
I mean, think about the stockbrokers.
So
Everybody
you're
says,
right. Okay, so rolling in, give me the four. Give me the four. What was the four ladies? Focus.
Focus, organizing, facilitate. Yeah.
Girl, they got notes on you. Did you hear them? Focus, organizing, facilitating, and what was the other one?
communicate.
Communicate. And so we've talked about focus. We're talking about
Mhm.
facilitate. Girl, keep giving us these gems. Look at them learning today.
But another big piece of what project management brings to the table is identifying your risk. If you decide you want to go to Denver, and with the pandemic, for example, when it first started, how many people had insurance that would cover them in the event of some unforeseen incidents? Nobody. Now, post pandemic, in the middle, where you still don't have a whole lot of people vaccinated, how many people buy insurance in the event that flight is canceled or the pandemic
Mhm.
resurges? That's a risk. So when you're planning your business,
Everybody.
you've committed to yourself. I'm going to take this schoolwork. Um, I build my own business. The risk are what? What would you say identify the risk? If something happens, you're not able to finish school. The risk is that you drop your
Mhm.
project plan. The risk is you may have invested in a
Mhm.
new location and spent all this money, but ain't nobody coming. So you know those risks up front so you can
Mhm.
be proactive in addressing them. What could possibly keep you from finishing your school term? Life. There's only so much you can do about life. But if you have a family,
Note she
have
broke down
your
what the risks were, and now she's breaking down what could cause that risk to occur, right? And we
yeah,
talked about this earlier. What is that? She's doing a what?
SWOT
SWOT analysis. Okay.
yes.
Okay. They think we choreographed this, but I promise we didn't.
No, no. If your family is a risk for you, then you're communicating to the family, this is my goal. This is my plan. This is how I'm going to make it happen. I'm asking for your support. You didn't let them know up front. You don't wait until the wheels fall off the car and say, hey, I need a ride. You know, in the event that something happens, can I
Mm-hmm.
give me a lift to class? You know, if I run short of funds, can you front me a little bit until this point? So you actively say what could
Mm-hmm.
possibly go wrong. It's not being negative, it's
You
being
know, and I want to build on that.
mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I want to build on that because you said something like they identified if family is a risk, then they started talking about, can you give me transportation? Can you give me funds? But
Mhm.
also make note of the people who are not in agreement to get you to that end game.
Exactly.
Because oftentimes we become reliant on people or expecting of people that they didn't sign up to do. And then, so
Exactly.
if they're not one of the people, places, or things that are in alignment with your end
Mhm.
game, you got to
Mhm.
already have a workaround and not sit there
Absolutely.
with hurt feelings when they're like, I didn't tell you to go to school.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with you. That girl.
By opening up that communication in advance, people are much more willing to work with you. If you wait till last minute, they got their own program going. And if they have space for you, they accommodate you. But you got to
Mm-hmm.
share with people, you know, and looking at your plan, you have to be comfortable asking for help. You got your plan, you're going to Denver, you need a ride to the airport. So you don't wait the day before the flight or the morning of and say, hey, can you give me a lift to the airport? You say, hey, I'm going to be going to Denver in a couple of weeks. Can I call on you to give me a lift? This is my flight. This is what time I need to be there by. It's not for them to figure out when you need to be there. You need to provide them with that information. You
Mm-hmm.
need to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that?
Girl, girl. There's so many people though, I find, which is why I love your company. I love what you do, because there are
Mm-hmm.
so many are people in business that they know their destination, or they have an idea of
Mm-hmm.
what they want their destination
Mm-hmm.
to be, but they
Mm-hmm.
get overwhelmed just at the SWOT phase, just breaking down their obstacles
Mm-hmm.
and then trying to figure out who could help them. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
get that. I have one of my sisters from another mister owns a ghostwriting company, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember when she first got in, I was very self conscious with asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
She had to kind of like do a sneak attack and make me realize, like, no, you need this. I love you, sis, enough to tell you you misspelled that
Mm-hmm.
word. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It don't mean what you
Mm-hmm.
think it means. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think one of those concepts is people are so worried about other people's perception of where they're
Yes.
going, they miss the mark.
Yes.
And so
They miss
having
the mark.
someone who don't really have skin in the game, whose only job is to make sure you hit the mark,
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
important. And that, to me, the your project manager is your best accountability buddy.
Absolutely. And you will find as you start to define what your plan is, you own it, you have a vested interest in being successful. Those people that can help you will start to come, as we say, emerge out of the earth. You know, they will show up,
Mhm.
but you have to be willing to communicate, ask for help, seek a partnership. You have to do the work because they're not going to do it for you. They're not going to say, here's a company and you got
What would
customers.
be their
Yeah.
process with you?
I'm sorry.
So what would be their process with you? Let's say I called you up and I
Mm-hmm.
said, I want to
Mm-hmm.
launch a product line.
Mm-hmm.
How
Mm-hmm.
would we go about linking up to help me launch this product line?
Okay. So we would start with the consultant. You know, I do 30 minutes
Okay.
free consulting because I want to understand what your goal is, what your end game is. And I will give you high level milestones that will help you along that way. And if you choose to move forward, then it's negotiated hourly rate for your students. We get a Portia Brown discount rate, and then we'll sit down and build that plan together, right? We'll flesh it out
Oh, I love it. Mhm.
exactly what needs to be done, and we'll even create a timetable because it's one thing to have a plan, but if you're not executing on that timetable, you're not gonna get to Denver by that concert in the park. You're gonna get there after a whole month later. Eventually, that's the other thing that project management does. It is not about eventually. It is about this deadline. So I will work with you together to determine a realistic deadline, help you identify some of those risks that you can be proactive about, identify areas where it's going to be an investment on your part, and what do we need to do to make sure that you're making a smart
Mhm. I'm loving you.
Any
I just
questions?
want y'all to know, y'all, I already have a notebook of projects I'm gonna need her help on. I do.
Mhm.
I got 4 women here. Do y'all have questions? Tori, I know you do a lot of planning with your business. Do you have questions for her?
I do.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna seat the seat. Since she has questions and she looking cute today, I'm gonna let her
Okay,
sit right here and ask some questions. Come on, ask your question.
nice.
That's what I do, baby. Thank you for grading every nice thing you said got me to the potential no.
Okay. Even though I was
Girl, you know I thought that. Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And your name
I'm
is?
Shatoria.
Victoria.
So
Nice to meet you.
nice to
Okay.
meet you as well. Did you catch my name? I think it's a slight delay. You got my
Yeah.
name?
Yeah, she said.
Centoria.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Shatoria. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be goofy right
That's okay.
now. So I do a lot of consultations, and I was kind of wondering, well, outside of aesthetics, but I would like to know if there's a better way to consult furthering business with people, like to sit down and have a consultation about services. You
Mm-hmm.
can even do that with aesthetics as well, but
Mm-hmm.
any business that you have to have a consultation for, I would like to know as far as consultations, what do you think is the best way to have a consultation? Because
It goes.
I have like to go about it, to go about the consultation.
I
If
think
that's,
no.
am I asking the question right?
Yeah, I think I get what you're asking. One of the things that you need to do is define what your consultations are for. You know what happens in corporate American marketing
Right.
firms?
For
They create the
services.
product and then define, sell people on the need. So you have to define what it is, why people want it, and then you have to really communicate. So you would look at what channels are you currently using to promote yourself, your service, right? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Um, do you have, what kind of funding do you have? Do you want to take out an ad in a neighborhood newsletter that goes out in some neighborhoods type of stuff? So once you understand what value you offer to people, the question then becomes, how are you communicating that value into your target group? You have a target group, I'm assuming, as part of your consulting services, you identify who could best benefit from what you offer. Because a lot of times, what we think is a really great idea, people are not interested in it. So you have to understand what it
Right.
is and what value it provides to other people. Portia does facials, in love with facials. So I look for a person that does facials, and boom, there she is. Am I looking on Booksy? Is an app that's used to find services. I'm trying to think of these other ones, but some of these sites, Facebook even, I'm not a Facebook fan, but that's okay. Or Instagram, tweet. How many followers do you have for your business? Word of mouth. Your clients become your promoter. If they were treated well, they had a great
Right.
time, guess what? They're going to tell somebody else. Uh, Actually, my sister introduced me to Portia. We gave ourselves a gift for that. I can't tell you how many other people I've told about Portia's services. So
Oh,
I
I'm the same way.
yeah,
I'm a
she knows.
walking
Yeah, and what she has
report.
done, she's identified a need that she can fulfill, and she's promoted it, and she's been able to lean back off after spending so much in promotion and really let her clientele promote her business. And that's where you want to be. Understand what it is you're offering. How does it provide value to other people and
Your client.
communication? Mm-hmm.
Individual
Okay.
service.
Okay.
Oh, I love when they take notes.
But that's a kind of a serious person that's serious about business. And one of the reasons I do this is because you see it all the time. People are looking for project managers and people don't understand the value of project managers. And then typically a small business cannot afford a project manager. So I want to make myself available to the small business owner to improve their chances of success.
That's great.
I love that.
That's great.
Me
Mhm.
too. I love
That's
Mhm.
that.
that's
Okay,
a
well,
blessing.
time out, 'cause I gotta
You are a
get y'all back
blessing.
on
Thank
track.
you
Can you
so
make
much.
sure
Thank
she
you.
I won't take up too much more of your time.
She is not.
Thank you so
She got
much.
Portia,
I got
your
my
on
notes.
contact
track. Because
information.
I asked her
If
if she was on
you to,
Instagram.
book some time with me, take advantage of those three free 30 minutes, be more than happy to.
I'm gonna tell you with just give you a little bit of feedback on exact. I took a lot from what you just told me, but the number one thing that I took is identifying the value of the service because I tend to know
Mm-hmm.
that this is what they came to me for.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Mm-hmm.
they go, oh, I want to do an event. Oh, I want makeup. Oh, I want, and I know that I can do it, but I don't think about the actual value of it that they need the actual not just doing the service, but
Mm-hmm.
the actual
Mm-hmm.
value of it for them. And Portia tells me all the time the myself with the business as well
Mm-hmm.
as valuing the service for them. But I just that just kicked out to me like I don't even be thinking about
I tell
that.
my project managers on my day job, sell.
Thank you a lot for that.
You have to continuously sell yourself, your product, what it does for them. When you're having conversation, it's great to know what's going on in life, but you got to slip in
And
there.
the value of it.
I've been successful at doing this, and how about doing it this way? Type of stuff. You have to have that kind of confidence in your ability to deliver a well embraced service.
Yes, especially the facials. They gotta know the
Absolutely.
value, and I know the value of that because I know I like to put people to
Hmm.
sleep. So
Absolutely.
thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
But
Well, Queen, I am going to ask
yes,
that you send me your contact so that I can send it out. I got to get these girls back into skincare. But I
yes,
want to say thank you because that last gem you dropped about
mhm,
why you got into your own company so that you can help small businesses.
yes.
Because project management is not a small line item on a budget for Coca-Cola, for
No,
Dollar
it's not.
General, um,
No.
for
Mm.
any Fortune
Cracker Barrel.
500, Fortune
Mm-hmm.
50. They have a whole
Mm-hmm.
department that only does project
A
management.
whole
Most
department.
construction
Nothing but
companies, you can't build a
mhm,
house.
absolutely without a project
So
manager.
if you can
So
give me that information,
get it over to you, and your students tonight will get the Portia Brown discount when they book with me for a
thank you,
project.
because I have a class full of business owners.
Okay, great.
I do. I got a class full of business owners.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you
I
so much.
thank you. And to the rest of the tribe, say it again, Queen.
Maradi. Emirati.
Oh, thank you. Marathi. Did I say it
Yes,
right?
yes,
Marathi, which means
Maradi. All right. Thank you
I
so
love it.
much.
We got you. And to everybody catching this on replay and who caught it live, her information is in the text below. Please reach out. I cannot express to y'all the value of having a good project manager to keep you on track, especially in the beginning stage of business. Because oftentimes what has a small business go under is the things they did not know to plan for.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so y'all have someone with experience. Like the company she worked for don't have small budgets. So if you can get her, you got to give that to God and be thankful, okay? Queen,
Absolutely.
I am logging off. Thank you again, beautiful. And I will see you next week, girl, because them lashes supposed to be tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Then I'll book something.
I got you, girl. Thank you, baby. Bye, Queen.
Bye-bye.